afternoon, and thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. My name is Patricia Houston, and I have the honor of having with me Julie Rikon. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you for being here with us. I just want to remind everybody that this Lunch and Learn is brought to you by Family Partners of Morris and Sussex counties. And I also want to remind everybody that this Lunch and Learn is going to be recorded. So if you have any questions or something, all that information is going to be right there. Julie, so tell us a little bit about yourself. And before we start, I had to tell everybody, Julie is like a big celebrity when it comes to families with special needs children. So if you have any questions, here is the person that you need to ask. And so Julie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, I started this journey in 1997, and I have a son who's now 39, who intellectually is 8 years old. And he's on the autism spectrum. He has ADHD. He has anxiety, OCD, and lots of other little things in between. So he is a challenge. He is living at home with us. We have services provided to us through the state. So he is with his daily support people. He has 2 a day because he wears them all out. So they take him out in the community and they have fun, which is good. So he's not able to work. He gets too agitated trying to work, trying to get him to do different types of projects. So, and let's see. So yeah, this adventure started in 1997. And I started with the Association for Special Children and Families in 1997, 98. And I've been with them ever since. Right now, I just stepped into a new position as the interim executive director, project director, and still doing the parent consultant. Our agency works with families who have children suspected or with disabilities in the educational realm. We are not an advocacy organization. We do work with parents to give them guidance to learn to advocate on their child's behalf. Our services extend from technically 0 to 26, but we don't turn anyone away who calls our office number and needs some help, even if it's in the adult realm.
Wonderful. So now everybody knows why I'm saying, Julie, if you are a parent or a caregiver with a special needs child or a child with challenges, now people understand why I said that you are like a celebrity for families with special needs children, because you do have a lot of experience, but you also you are very active in the community. So Julie, tell us also, because you collaborate with a lot of organizations. So tell us a little bit more about, I know that you collaborate with the Mon Squad, so tell us a little bit about that too.
So we've been collaborating for many years with Family Partners, and it's been a magnificent collaboration. Before COVID, we would come to different presentations that were given by Family Partners. We also are collaborators with Special Child Healthcare Services. Our services started off in Passaic County. However, our funding is under the federal government. We received a federal grant. We're starting our 3rd year of a federal grant. And some of the areas that we cover in Morris and Sussex led us to continuing to provide services virtually over the phone, to give guidance to families. We cover Newton, I'm just trying to think, Jefferson, which is in Morris County, Hamburg, Vernon, Dover. Dover has been one of our target areas. Usually we've decided which areas to cover based on the number of parents grandparents, caregivers who reach out to the Association for Special Children and Families. So that's how we base our numbers. We are not the statewide parent advocacy network, even though we collaborate with them. SPAN covers the whole state, but we cover certain parts of Passaic County, Sussex, and Morris County. And we've been doing this, it's over 45 years that the association has been around, also known as ASCF.
Wonderful. And Julie, I know that you're going to be also doing a presentation for the Month Squad, and it's about overwhelmed by the paperwork created by your child's school record. Starting a new year, we know that it is overwhelmed. So you're going to discuss all of that. Can you please tell us a little bit about that specific topic and the reason why you're going to be doing that presentation?
Of course. This came about because when we had our office in Hewitt, parents would walk in with boxes of paperwork. And we decided to create getting parents organized for what they need for their child. It is very hard when you have a child with special needs or children to keep track of all the appointments, all of the people that do become involved in your life. So that's how this got started. Plus, at that point, the parent consultant who was doing our trainings took a look at my desk and said, we need to get you organized. I was very organized in a disorganized manner. But this paperwork, because the children are starting at a new school year, it's always good to start a new binder for your child. That way, it's easier to keep track of correspondence, samples of schoolwork, IEPs, evaluations. If your child has an IHP, which is also known as an individual health plan, you can have that in your binder. We just provide the guidance to help you become more organized so that you're not looking through paper after paper after paper. So that you could take this binder to any meetings you have with the school. We usually ask that you put a copy of your child's picture in the front of the binder, leave it right on the table where the child's study team, teachers, any therapist can see who is being discussed, and the reasons why. IEP meetings are not supposed to be adversarial, but if that happens, at least you can document it in your binder. We had one parent who shared that she uses a spreadsheet to keep track of the individuals that she may speak to, whether it's a doctor, a therapist, a teacher, and also by dating everything so that you can look back in your records. And that's what this is about, because you will really, if you have a child such as mine, because I kept my records, they were organized. When he went into the adult realm, I was able to access the information very quickly. I did destroy the information I did not need. I kept important pieces of an IEP, the individual education plan, if I felt it was necessary. And that too helped along in this journey. So I did refer back to the beginning, but everything was organized in a file. And as he went through school, of course, this binder training didn't exist, but I could go to a meeting organized, know who I spoke to, what their position was. And one of the other things that's important too is your documentation. And that's also what's kept in your binder. So that if you go into the school, for instance, and you talk to Jane Doe, who is your child's case manager, you could say, oh, my child needs. Jane Doe said, oh, when I get back to the office, I'll give you a call. Well, if you don't hear from Jane Doe within a day or two, once they leave, they don't remember. So through all the trainings that I've had over these many, many years, I've attended a lot of different types of attorney meetings with training from different kinds of special education attorneys. The first rule is put it in writing. So that way you do have the data that's necessary if you need to go on to a further plane. And I'm not going to go on to, into the technicality of the what ifs, but it is important to keep track of and document your interactions with teachers, case managers, directors of special services, principals. That's why you keep your documents, and they don't have to be in the order that this is going to be presented in. This is whatever order you want it to be in. So you might want to get a binder with dividers, and you can name those divider pages any way you want to. But you will find that as the school year goes on, it gets easier to find the information and to know which section of your binder that a piece of information will go into. So we usually guide families that at the beginning of the school year, they keep a sample of their child's schoolwork, drawings, things that are important, and then compare it to possibly December, January, to see how much regression there might be, to see if progress is being made. It's a good indicator of your child's growth. So that's just an overview. I will be doing a binder training for SPAN, and that's going to be on October 10th. And you can go on their site to register. It is called Paperwork for Families. Let's Get Organized. And at that time, we've updated all the paperwork. It's a very good training. It's good knowledge it helps you in your day-to-day life too, is once you know where in your binder pieces of information go that you've set up, you'll be able to find it easier. It'll decrease your stress and anxiety.
Wonderful, wonderful. And this is great. And that's the reason I think this is amazing having this type of conversation, because we do understand that having especially child or a child with challenges in general, most of the time can be really overwhelmed. And in addition to that, adding schoolwork, dealing with different providers, paperwork, and everything else that you can imagine, I think organization is kind of the basic for everything.
Well, I know a lot of families keep information on their phones. However, if there's no backup to that information, then parents need to scramble to find that information, or parents are overwhelmed and don't know what is stated in their child's individual education plan, IEP. And it's very easy to lose track of what you're looking for documentation wise. I have the document when my child was first diagnosed in 1997, where he was placed on the autism spectrum at the age of 13. He always had challenges. He always was in special education when he started his school career. But I was able to find the information very quickly because it was organized that I could go right to the source of when he was first diagnosed. So it's another full-time job being a parent of a child with a suspected disability, with a disability, but it's also rewarding too, because we are a unique family.
Yeah.
And we at ASCF, those who work there have a lot of family experience. So one of our parent consultants, who is also Spanish speaking, we were comparing 8-year-old behavior to a 39-year-old who has 8-year-old behaviors. And we were exactly the same. My 39-year-old was doing exactly the same thing her 8-year-old was doing. So that's how I can base his growth and see if changes are coming about. Now, today he had his tutor here because he wanted to learn to read. And she couldn't believe how well he was reading from the prior tutor. So these are all important things that you need documentation from. Sometimes I feel like there's a file going in and out of my head, that I have to adjust if I'm looking for a piece of information. A lot of that has stopped because everything is organized. So that takes a lot of stress off of me, a lot of worry, or where did I put that information, that piece of information. So you want to keep your stress level down to the best of your ability by becoming organized.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Julie, I also want to remind everybody that we're going to add the contact information, website, everything right underneath of the description below of this video. So if you need to get in contact with Julie or the organization, all that information is going to be there. We're going to share the screen, and in there, we're going to share the website. So you will see all that information in there. So give me 1 second. Gonna pull up the screen. Julie, okay, right here we are in your website. So let's go here. So in here about, let me see, just give me 1 second.
Sure. There's some background information, and some of it's out of date, but the important information is at the top. We also, if you see on the first page, the Mama Maria's podcast is full of information. We found out that there are people from all over the world logging in to hear the podcasts, which was really exciting. So the support group, we're not doing our own support group. We're coming through with Mom Squad, which I started off with Mom Squad, just listening to some of the information, but it's a family. People who care, people who share, and the Mom Squad is through family partners. And when Thursday night comes around, it's either pizza time, Chinese food time, or fend for yourself time. So because it's just a wonderful group of women, a wonderful group with a lot of caring and sharing and support to parents. And you might not want to discuss anything the first time you're on Mom Squad. No one is pushed into that information, into sharing. But you will find support in this group. And it's amazing the wonderful family that Mom Squad has become. So, just contact family partners and they will get you started. You can email them. And I know that Patricia has all of the family partners information that you can touch base with. So we have the paperwork for families. The next training is in October. We do have our Uniquely Human workshop, which is a book called Uniquely Human. It's a different way of looking at autism by Dr. Barry Prasant. That is ongoing. We have a Sunday night and a Monday night scheduled. It's our information. We keep everything informal and comfortable. So we are gearing up to do some of our virtual training, so stay tuned. And we are updating the website. So our funding comes from Patricia. If you just scroll down, again, this is under Ideas That Work, U.S. Office of Special Education. So we are funded by a federal grant. And this is the verbiage that comes along with being funded by the federal government, and our project officer's name and our identification number. If someone has an issue with anything that we, as a Community Parent Resource Center, also known as a CPRC, if you had any issues, you could contact our project officer or you could contact SPAN.
Wonderful. Julie, the contact information in here, the 973-728-8744, is this a good number that they can reach out to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the office, we have a very small office in Haskell, New Jersey, but we are able to retrieve our phone messages. So you can leave a message with your name and phone number. We are gearing up for more programs going forward since this is the start of a new grant year. And you can, we will be having cell phones. So again, the site will be updated if you need to reach out to us, but you can call the 973-728-8744.
Yeah, all
But,
that not it's okay because the contact information in the website is gonna be there. And like I said at the beginning, this is just an overview, just to let you know that if you are a caregiver or a parent with a special needs child or a child with challenges, you are not alone. You have people in here like Julie, like families in here that you peer support from family partners of Morris and Sussex counties. You have a lot of support available. Utilize those support, and there is no need to be alone when you're going through this journey. There are an organization, a lot of people committed to help those families. So that's what we wanted you to know, right, Julie?
Yes, there are a lot of agencies, but our philosophy is that we're here to guide you. We're not here to judge anyone, and we have lived this journey. That's really the beauty of this organization, is we are living and breathing this journey. It doesn't stop. So we don't want you to feel alone or isolated. Our services are open once we get our webpage up to date with the new information. Don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Wonderful. And I just want to go back a little bit in relation to the support group that Julie was mentioning. Julie mentioned about the Mom Squad support group. The Mom Squad support group is hosted by family partners of Morris and Sussex counties. All that information is going to be also in the description below of this video. And like I said, if you have any question, you can reach out to us. My contact information will be there as well. And I just want to also mention in relation to family partners, because probably a lot of people don't know, family partners provide non-clinical services to families with special needs children or children with challenges. And we just want you to know that we are here to guide you, to assist you, to be there for you when you need any help from us. So please reach out if you have any question. Julie, any last thought before we conclude this presentation?
Just that, as a family member who has challenges in the family, you are not alone. There is support for you through family partners and through the Association for Special Children and Families.
Wonderful. And I also want to let you know, these type of services are at no cost to the family, regardless of your income. So if you need any help or you have any question, please reach out. We are here to assist with whatever we can to make sure that you feel that you are not alone and that you feel that you have the support that you need in this journey. With that, we are going to conclude this presentation and we are going to move to our Q&A session. As I mentioned at the beginning, this video can be found in the YouTube Library of Family Partners of Morris and Sussex County. And with that, we're going to move to our Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you, Julie. It's always an honor, a pleasure, and pleasure having you here.
Take care. Thank you.
Wonderful.